So, I just finished this book, Writers and Lovers by Lily King, and it was a good book. I wouldn't say top 10 must reads ever, but I would say it was good. It was written well, it was easy to follow. It's kind of like that writing where you get into a flow state. But, not here to talk about what I thought about the book. The reason I wanted to film a video was because I try to journal after everything I read and consume. I read this essay once and it was like, the same way if you eat a lot of food and you never work out, you will eventually become obese. It's the same with your mind. And so if you consume a lot and you never like give it an outlet and channel it out of you and channel it into something, you become mentally obese. And I could feel my mind becoming mentally obese from the amount I consume and the lack of doing anything with it. So I finished this book and I journaled about it. And I also feel like through intentionally reflecting on works of art, we get to learn more about ourselves through the way that we engage with the experience, because I feel like every single person is so unique, and the way I filter and experience this book will not be the same way you do or someone else does. And I think that each of our thoughts about something is like a clue about who we are, and I also feel like it's a valuable thing to add to the world. Like, I'll keep this tangent very short, but I'm sure you've noticed there's such an influx of like how-to content, and I was low-key adding to it, and I think some how-to content is actually really valuable, but I think that there's like more value sometimes to people being like, here's my experience, rather than being like, how to, I'm the expert. It's like, I've done this, here's how I did it, versus like, here's how you should do it. I feel like there's a difference, but I feel like people eat this up, including me. That was me for a while, but I would like eat up a bunch of how-to content and not actually do anything with it. Now I'm starting to lean towards the, like, I just want to hear your experience. Like, I want to hear your thoughts and the way you engage with the world and your uniqueness. So, sorry, that was a tangent, but, so, the whole reason I wanted to film a video was because the main character, her name is Casey. I'm not gonna like explain the plot, but there was one thing where, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm back in school and I'm like writing an essay on symbolism, and I didn't expect this for myself, but I was journaling about it, and I was like, so she lost her mom. She's going through a really hard time in this transition period, and she's like drowning in debt. She's working a waitress job and like not making enough to cover the debt. She's living in someone's like old moldy basement who's about to kick her out. Like, life is not going well for her, and she's like really struggling. And then in the end, there's kind of like a turning point where things do get better. And I was journaling about like how it made me happy for her because she was really struggling. And then I started thinking about, so there was one thing where she had a lump. She went to a doctor. She finally got health insurance. She goes to the doctor and they find a lump like under her armpit. She thinks it's like breast cancer or some kind of cancer, and she schedules a doctor's appointment with the cancer doctor. It's like on call. I don't know. I'm not a medical student, okay? But she schedules an appointment with the cancer doctor, but it's months out. So for months, she's kind of like feeling this lump, like really, really scared about this lump and thinking, I'm gonna die. And maybe it's just better if I die because then I don't have to deal with the debt and the this and the that. And so she's like freaking out. And then she ends up going to the doctor like months later, and she's like thinking she's about to get found out she has cancer. Sorry, that was not English. But and then all of a sudden, literally it was like that, the doctor's appointment, he's like, okay, where is it? She shows him and he's like, that's a lymph node, it's regular size, bye. Like, and he leaves. Like, it was so quick. She finds out it was not cancer, and that really stuck with me because, well, and then she starts going to therapy, and she only had 3 therapy appointments on her insurance before because she got fired from her waitress job, and that was all she had left. And in the 3rd appointment, he asked her, what are you really scared of? Like, what are you really scared of? And she starts talking about everything she's scared of, and I feel like those go hand in hand of like, she was, I don't know, I just feel like the lump under her armpit was a beautiful analogy for the nature of fear itself, in the way that fear holds us back and kind of rules our life unconsciously if we don't understand what it is. And so, I mean, she thought this lump was cancer and it was going to ruin her life. And she, for months, literally, you could tell, like, it was weighing on her. Like, she was drowning in it. She was like, life was so gloomy and dull for her. Like, you could really see the switch from before she found that out to after, where life was lighter. And then after the therapy, even, like, life really started getting better. And I think, yeah, I think it's the same for fear. Like, fear acts as a lump in our armpit that mimics cancer. Like, fear convinces you that you're gonna die, that something bad is around the corner, that something is bad is happening now. But once you finally look at it in the eyes, you realize, like, it was literally a lymph node, you know? Like, it was never real. Like, I don't want to, like, invalidate. It's not, the feelings are real. The anxiety is real. Like, there's no doubt your experience is real. But when you actually examine the fear, you realize that it was never actually about anything substantial. Like, it was always about something that wasn't actually happening right now. And most of the time, it's about something that doesn't actually happen. And so, two things. First, I heard this once a really long time ago, that anxiety is literally an inability to think things through. And I think that's how it was stated. That sounds very simple. Again, like, I never want to undermine anyone's anxiety. I struggle with anxiety. I think it's a very human thing, and that experience is very real. And I think if you actually, like, if your biggest fear is, like, I don't know, getting in a car crash, well, you know, if you get in a car crash, I guess, like, oh gosh, I feel like that was a bad example, but I guess no, because if it breaks my theory, then it wasn't real. But if you get in a car crash, you're either going to survive and you're going to have to pay the debt. You're either going to die or you're going to survive, and you're going to handle it. My whole point is that, like, anything you're scared about, you can and will handle, because there's no other choice. Like, you literally have to handle it or you're dead. And in that case, you don't have to handle it because you're dead. And so I think a lot of fear is trying to keep us safe. Fear is a protection mechanism that is trying to keep us safe. But really the bigger point, and what I instantly connected this lump as kind of an analogy and symbol of fear, is, there's this book by David Hawkins. He's a doctor and he's a psychiatrist and a teacher, and he wrote a book called Letting Go. And he writes something like, I think the quote is, fear of life is really the fear of emotions. And that hit so hard, and that's what I was thinking about. Like, I'm just going to leave that right there for you. This thought is obviously pretty undeveloped, but fear of life is really the fear of emotions. It's not the facts we fear, but the feelings we have about them. So I guess all I wanted to do with this video was urge you that to take a look at your fear, to look it in the eyes, to spend time with it, to understand, like, where are you trying to keep me safe, and where can I just say thank you and release you, you know? Like, I have been experiencing a lot of fear in my life because I am trying to be self-employed. I'm trying to be I am a creatorpreneur. I'm also working on manifestation. I am a creatorpreneur. I create products, I create content, I create coaching services, and I sell them. And it comes from a very pure place. Basically, I walked through a toxic relationship. More than that, abandoned myself in a relationship. And I had to find my way back to myself, and that's the path I now try and help people walk. And I'm very passionate about this because I think everyone has self-abandoning tendencies. I think it's something that's taught to us at an early age. I'm writing a Substack essay on that right now. But, right, I come from a very pure place. I really want to help people with this. And I also really want to be paid from it. And wow, this is really vulnerable. This is something this is about my fear, right? If you look back at all my past videos, you're going to see they're very like polished. Some of them are even scripted. And I think there's value to that. I have my master's degree in marketing, and again, being vulnerable. Wow. Okay. I have my master's degree in marketing, and so I've learned a lot about ideal viewer and how to, think in their mindset and content psychology and all of these things. So I'm always like looking at things in a marketing lens, and I feel like that's kind of the route I've been taking. But in doing that and trying to like follow this very like business marketing perspective, it's been a weird balance of like, I am a person. Like, I have thoughts, I have beliefs, I have desires, ideas. Like, sorry, a car is driving by. Oh my gosh. No, but I'm a person. Like, I am a multi-layered, passionate, creative person. I'm also someone with fears and all of these things. So, how do I know I'm not the only creator that struggles with like, this is me. I'm like a tree and I branch off into a million different directions, but everything tells me to box it into a neatly packaged box that says in one line what I do, who I am, who I help, and just like, I'm supposed to stick to this box and not break free of it at all. And so it's been a really difficult balance of like, I do want to help these people. And so I'm like, is there a crack in my windshield? Okay, no, but I do really want to help these people. But in following that path, I feel like I am not fully being authentic to who I am. And that's something I really value too, is like being free to be who I am, to make a living off of who I am, the ideas I have, the people I help, right? And so, yeah, I realized that all like me trying to do this box and trying to do everything as I should do, as I'm supposed to do to make this into a full-time income, I'm not being authentic to who I am. And I wrote this in my journal today. I said, wait, what did I write? Your degree of magnetism is directly proportional to your degree of authenticity. And then I wrote, I'm not allowing myself to be seen as I truly am. And guess what that is behind that is fear. Again, so fear. And so, yeah, I mean, it's hard. I don't know how this is going to be received. I don't know. I don't even know if I feel like posting this, I'll be honest. But I just figured, like, if I really want to do this, I have to be true to who I am. If I have a thought, I should be okay to just share that. I need to be okay with showing who I am to attract, to attract the people that are meant to work with me, to attract the people I am meant to help through this journey. And so, yeah, I feel like sometimes I try to hide behind this facade of like, I'm an expert, like I've been studying this for years, and I have been studying it for years. But nobody's an expert, because that requires you to be perfect and have perfect information. And even people that have been working in the field, whatever field, for their entire life will never have perfect information. As human beings on this planet, we will never have perfect information. And so I just realized like the only thing limiting me is myself. Yeah. So anyways, I'm just going to leave that there for you. I think one thing I want to take away and start doing is like literally waking up and like asking myself, like, what am I scared of today? I want to understand my fears so intimately, because it's like Carl Jung said. Oh gosh, what'd he say? Oh, what's the quote? I think he said, if you don't make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Something about that, where anything that's lurking in he calls it your shadow, will control you until you literally shine the light of your consciousness on it, and only then can it no longer control you. And I think that's part of the purpose of life, is moving through these levels and these spirals of like shining our light. Like there have been so many times where I think, oh, I've mastered this, like, oh, I'm good, like shame, like I understand it now, so it's never gonna get me again. And then it shape shifts and it changes costumes, and like it shows up in different ways. So this journey has been very humbling. And so yeah, so this is I've done a few videos where I'm very unscripted, but I think from now on, I'm just going to kind of take a more unscripted approach. And I mean, I'm sure there will be times where I've written down ideas because they came to me like that and I have more structure, but I crave more humans to be like this. I crave less AI slop. I crave it so bad. I feel like AI is very helpful in certain cases, but I want humans. Like, we are humans. We aren't perfect. And I feel like AI is this almost facade of like, you can be perfect if you follow this script that is given by this machine. Like, and I've done this. I do this. I use AI for things, and it's a great tool, and sometimes it's a shortcut for me to shortcut my own authenticity and sitting with my fears, and sitting with my fear of being seen, and my fear of being authentic, and my fear of being rejected. So yeah, I'm intending to show up like this. And yeah, so I think that's it. Also, I think one last thing is, no, okay, I'm gonna end it there. I'm sure I'll have more thoughts to share with you soon. If you're still here, thank you. Leave a comment, please, so I can know. It's so weird because I'm like, I'm not gonna edit this, and I'm like, I would have just deleted that and instead said it in a different tone of voice. You're really getting the imperfect version of me, and I'm proud of it. You know what? I'm proud. And so if you're looking for someone to sit with you through your imperfection, through your messiness, through your hardships, through your fears, through your self-abandonment, I will link my free clarity calls in the description. But yeah, if you're still here, I'd love to hear from you that you're still here. And if you are, then I freaking love you. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Am I gonna post this? Also, my name is Gracie. Okay.